All right, this is just a quick example of the energy analysis, just so you guys know what it is, what it looks like, what you're getting. So essentially what I do is I do the analysis and I do a video of everything I'm saying now. I just started doing that. So you can actually see what I'm pointing to, what I'm referencing, how it sits in your field, and see the energies exactly. And then I type everything up, send you an email, and then we can get on a discovery call. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this so you guys understand. This is really helpful, and the reason why it's helpful, and I struggled with this, I didn't know exactly where I was, you know, as far as spiritual progress, how much I had cleared, if there were blocks going on. I was struggling a lot just in life with normal stuff. Overall, what we can look at in your field is if there's a block there, if there's a distortion, is it a thought problem with the way you're thinking, your beliefs, or is it an emotional trauma? Is it a repressed emotion that you never processed and dealt with? Is there spiritual energies influencing your field? Is it your energy? Is it foreign energy? Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot that can be going on in the field that creates distortions for your lived reality, but also your higher spiritual reality and your higher path and mission, okay? Just because you're comfortable in life and things are going well doesn't mean that you are in an evolved state, okay? Money does not equal spiritual evolution at all here, okay? So just because you're able to manifest, you're happy, you're doing what you want, that doesn't mean that evolution is there, but it also means you're probably not pulled to that evolution, okay? Most people that are pulled to spiritual evolution, the path, the light body activations, there is a definitive draw there where they feel like that's something they need, okay? So keep that in mind. And you're not gonna do it so that you get something out of it. You're not going to do it so that you make a bunch of money. You're not going to do it for fame and fortune. You're going to do it because at a higher level, at a spiritual core soul level, you're like, this is my path. Okay, I have to do this. It doesn't matter what's going on in my reality. I know this is my path. Okay, there is spiritual evolution, physical evolution. Our bodies are going through evolution, and there's spiritual mastery as well as self-mastery. And through those, we're able to sustain and maintain higher spiritual states for the entire planetary collective, the planet herself, and help us move into this new earth, okay? The new earth, the new age. And from that place, we'll live in harmony and peace, okay? That's what we're aiming for, okay? That's what my work does. So if you feel that call, start with an analysis. So this is the analysis, okay? This is what you will get. This is a 3D map. So I've gotten clients that came to me for the first time that are 5D, 6D, no one 7D so far. That could happen, I have no idea. Normally what happens is I'll look at the field, I'll see where they're grounding, and then I pull some cards to see higher spiritual energies that are going on. Most of the time, people aren't at their potential yet, okay? Not at who they were before they incarnated. Usually there's a dropping down when you come into the earth plane. There's a lot of traumas, distortions, belief systems, programs, patterns, and your job is to pull yourself out of that, get back to your organic state, which a lot of times it's 5D, 6D, some people even 70s are organic state, and then from there evolve. Okay, so this is primarily light workers, starseeds, those type of people that align with that, okay? So this is the map, and so I will go over all of this, and this person, their higher gateways are open, but they're wobbly. Soul stars open, so this person really understands their soul essence. They're connected to it. They're not embodying it yet, but they do have a clarity with their soul essence. Crown is closed. Third eye is distorted. Throat is open, heart is closed, solar plexus distorted, sacral distorted. So up here, if the crown's closed, even though all of these are open, you're not going to have access to them because they stack on top of each other. You could to some degree, but not really. I mean, if your crown is closed, you could be having a lot of headaches, you could feel depressed, you could feel cut off from reality, true spiritual reality. Third eye distorted, meaning you're probably getting intuitive hits, downloads, but they don't feel consistent. They could be wobbly. They could be, you could feel a lot of doubt around them, and that's because it's not a clear signal to your third eye. Okay, throat's clear, you're able to speak your truth, etc. The heart's closed, which means there is either a trauma or distortion in the heart. There could be fear. It could be just energetic. And I don't know this stuff until we get into a session and look at it. But you can see the flow of energy. And once you see the flow of energy, then it's a lot easier to heal and align, as well as figure out how to move forward. Okay. So if the heart chakra is closed like that, you're not going to be magnetizing realities. You're going to have a hard time manifesting. You're going to have a hard time bringing money in. Probably low self-worth, hard time with relationships, etc. Okay. Then we go, solar plexus is distorted. That is your will center. And if your will center is distorted, that means that you're not cleanly projecting or acting on your will. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. Okay. Meaning that your will is distorted within the world. Okay. You could take actions that don't actually help you. Okay. Sacral was actually okay. This is the womb, could be chi energy. Sexual energy there is slightly distorted, so there could be some blockage. It could be just weak. It could be tired. The energy centers, if they are all healthy, they're open, they're flowing, they're fast, they're contained. There's nothing in them. They're bright. They're vibrant. Okay, and in session work, I go into this and I go into each chakra and I see what's going on. I've seen people with energies implanted in their chakras. I've seen dark energy. I've seen dead energy I've needed to clean out. There's a lot of stuff we can see there. And all of this is a layered process. Okay, so we could see a distortion and then it could come back a year later in a different form until it's fully cleared. And some of these will clear right away. It's easy. But if it's really old or ancient trauma or wounding, it will take many times cycling back through to clear. Okay. Root chakra is closed. Sorry, this is moving. Root chakra is closed. And out of this person, these are big issues. Okay. Root chakra is closed. Earth gateway is closed. Earth star is closed. They cannot ground. Okay. Root chakra is safety, survival, home, money, and there is no way to even anchor into the planetary core or the earth star. Okay, the heart being closed and the crown chakras being closed. Essentially, this person, even though they're trying to open, trying to expand, trying to move forward, they can't, not until these centers open, because the energy has to flow. The energy is contained in the sacral solar plexus. It's trying to expand, but it can't. Okay. So that's what we're seeing there with these energy centers. So to open and clear this, what you would do in the prep school is Metatron's cube activation. Okay. If you do a session with me, I'll go in and open them with more advanced, like diamond sun body frequencies. But you can use the Metatron's cube activation there to open those. Once those are open, you'd have to work on staying stable, grounded. Okay. There is a fluctuation of energy usually after opening these, where the energy has to find its place. Okay, you open it and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we can move. And so that's what we see there. Okay, then we see two blocks here, or sorry, not blocks, tears in the field. Okay, this tear energy is moving in. This tear energy is moving out. I actually didn't document that, but that's where that was. And so when there's a rip tear hole in the etheric template, that means that energies can permeate your field, get entangled in your energy, your chakras. Any of these blocks could be because of someone else's energy or something else's energy is in their field distorting this. Okay. And if energy is leaving the field, it's just draining energy. Okay. It's draining life force, power, etc. Okay. So the etheric template has to be sealed and strong. Okay, for a healthy light body. Then we have the blocks here, and these are like frozen, dense energy. Usually it could be a trauma. So the 6th level of the field is divine love. The 4th level of the field is relational love. So this could be someone else's relational energy being projected in, and it could have entered through the weak etheric template, or it could be a block around relationships, okay, that we would have to clear. Clear the block and charge the field, okay? Same here, this is divine love, so this could be a block around connecting to your guides, your spirit team, to God, to source, whatever you believe. And then down here we have the 5th level of the field, which is the etheric blueprint. This is your map, okay? And it being around the foot, meaning that the map is congested, distorted, not clear around the feet. It could be some sort of binding in the energy here that is blocking someone from moving forward, okay? I don't know, I wouldn't know until I looked into it exactly, but that's theoretically what we could see when we're looking at an analysis, okay? Frequency here is 10 kilohertz or 10,000 hertz, which would be expected for this person. They are in upper 4D as far as consciousness, but because they're not anchored, it's not embodied. It's an idea, it's access, it's not embodied fully, okay? So as far as the field goes, what someone would do is the celestial purification in the prep school, and or I would do it through the advanced light body work, okay? Flower of life, we're looking at masculine and feminine energy and the cosmic heart. Masculine energies are slightly distorted, which we saw in the solar plexus. So there is it's electric energy, but it's more about how you take action in the world, whereas the feminine is how you receive, okay? Feminine is completely shut down. We saw that with the heart, okay? So these align. The heart chakra is closed. Feminine energies are closed, which means that this person is not receiving, is not even capable of receiving what they need right now because those energy centers are closed, okay? If you are not open to receiving, there is no way anything can get to you. It doesn't matter, okay? So there's action being taken, but no receptivity. Those both have to be flowing for it to move. Okay, so for that, someone would be asked to do the Flower of Life session, and that would open both of these, as well as make sure the cosmic heart is open. And the cosmic heart connects you to God's love or source love, okay, purely. Okay, and then up here, these are just the levels of the field that are distorted. So we'd have to go in, clear those levels, open and expand them, okay? So after a session like this, I would expect someone's frequency to rise to maybe 100 kilohertz, depending on how evolved they are, okay? And then so on and so on and so on. So somebody gets it to 100 kilohertz, they stabilize, new stuff can come up that's been hidden or in the shadows for us to clear. And then we continue that process, and then they rise again, okay? Clear. Continue the process, then they rise again. Then we start activating the light bodies, okay? Once someone's around 300 kilohertz, we can activate the Merkana. This is the 5D light body. This allows you to embody 5D frequencies and move into the trajectory of the new earth, okay? If you are here at 10,000 kilohertz, you'll probably you will struggle more in the coming years than you would if you were in 5D or above. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. It's not, you don't have to struggle, because there's ways to clear this out and get you harmonized and aligned with the highest path, okay? So that's what that looks like. And then we have the monadic recalibration work. And I do go into this for a lot of people because sometimes I can get into this in sessions, but you also can learn how to do some of this yourself in the prep school, okay? So once you understand your field, understand the prep school, you can actually work on training your energy and doing consistent work every day to keep your field clear. And then things will come up and you'll know immediately, oh, this needs to clear. And you stay on that path. It's a consistent, disciplined path of noticing your field, doing the work, the violet flame, the journeys, the celestial round table, soul retrieval, knowing yourself well enough when to do it. And then you'll see this steady climb and elevation. And then I'm there to help you with activations, what you need and when. If you're going through something you can't figure out, I can help you refine that. Okay, you can book sessions every once in a while, and I can do kind of a clean sweep, get you caught up. It's just part of the path. Okay, so I go through biofield, energy centers, light body structure. So here we're seeing some distortions in the coherence of the light body. Frequency isn't high enough to hold the Merkana. soul retrieval. So most people need a lot of soul retrieval, actually, and there can be trauma loops too. So we have to go in the timeline fields, do a full soul retrieval, as well as break the trauma loop by healing the trauma. Okay, so that would be recommended. There could be false initiations. There can be false permissions in the field, overlays. There can be implants. There's all sorts of things that can be going on in your field. This helps us to see the more, the smaller things that aren't in the blocky chunks like we saw in the larger field. Okay, we look at the core pillars: sovereign will, true voice, divine knowing, and embodied presence, to see kind of if your 4 functions or 4 pillars of higher awareness are functioning properly, and if they're not, what needs to be worked on. Okay, we look and see if there's any false light energy in your field, mimic energy, any contracts that you no longer agree with that are distorted. Okay, and where you're grounding and anchoring. Okay, so you can actually only anchor into the 7D earth core. After that, you're anchoring into the planetary field, because these frequencies are too high. There actually is no material core after 7D. Okay, so it's a lot of information. I just wanted to share that with you guys because it is really helpful. It helps you to see where you're at, where you need to go. If you're on the ascension path or moving towards spiritual evolution, trying to step into your mastery, your self-mastery, because once you have the mental field clear, emotional field clear, then you're able to stand in your divine authority and still be an individual. Okay, you're anchored into your soul essence, your spiritual self, your highest potential, highest timeline. And there's no distortions or fears, okay, of if you're doing what you need to do for your alignment, okay? And you can step into your highest potential in fullest mastery, okay? That is what the energy analysis is. And it just helps you to see kind of where you're at. We can sit down and do a call and talk about recommendations, okay, if that interests you, okay? Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.